Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new content.
Hello, everybody. Hello. How's it going? Today we have our crime panel in which we talk about things that have happened this week or problems and issues that we have come upon this week, right? We had several shootings that happened. Several people who lost their lives this week, right? All because of X, Y, and Z, and we don't know why, right? We're going to add this to our tally. We had New Jersey teens killed in quiet suburb by alleged stalker who ran them down in a Jeep. Let's listen to his story, okay? We're going to listen to this young man's story. I don't know what's going on, but people are becoming issues here. Add this to the stage. Issues.
Unfortunately, 2 girls were killed in a hit-and-run crash.
The man you see here speaking on a YouTube live stream about 2 girls killed in a hit-and-run is reportedly the 17-year-old who is now charged with their murders.
I wish my sincerest condolences to those 2 girls lost in that tragic accident.
Family members of the victims say the person who killed the girls allegedly stalked one of them for months, plotting to kill her. NJ.com was the first to report Vincent Battelloro as the suspect, confirming his name through traffic tickets. What else he reportedly said on live streams about the alleged murders that appears to be about one of the victims. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
So that came on crime and Law and Crime. But I actually ran across this video. I actually ran across it before that with Adam Mockler's channel. I mean, if you guys don't know Adam Mockler, he's a very good YouTuber, and he has a channel where he does news and reviews, and he does these kind of things where he does breaking news. So I heard it on his channel first.
Teenage girls are dead after a disturbed 17-year-old stalked them for months, made posts about Andrew Tate and Charlie Kirk, and live streamed himself talking about Charlie Kirk, and then allegedly rammed his Jeep into them while they were biking, and now both of them are dead. Now, he fled the scene and has now been charged. I want to break this all down because there are live stream clips I can play you. They found his Twitter, and I do want to put a trigger warning up front. This is a uniquely disturbing video. I mean, I was sickened while reading this story. Genuinely, this one is messed up. We've covered a lot of Epstein stuff on this channel, and we've covered a lot of really disturbing stories, but this one is awful. And the stuff that this kid was posting is a really unique insight. It's a microcosm of what a lot of young men are currently going through and facing. And this is something I've been talking about on CNN a lot lately. I've been talking about algorithms and young males. I understand this culture more than a lot of people just due to my age and due to the fact that I scroll through these algorithms.
Right.
Now, I'm a normal dude, so I don't get radicalized by seeing this stuff, but the stuff does exist. There's a lot of hate on the internet. I'm sure you guys see it as well. This thread on Reddit from 10 Minute Ads reads, a Tate and Kirk fan stalked and killed 2 teen girls. Why isn't the mainstream media or Democrats talking about this? And we're going to go through this post. We're going to go through the evidence. There are videos of him live streaming immediately after and talking about Charlie Kirk. This is all very sickening and disturbing. So let's start off with this article from the New York Post, just to lay the groundwork.
Right.
New Jersey teen girls killed in quiet suburb by alleged stalker who ran them down in Jeep. Quote, she made complaints and nothing was done. This article describes how one of the girls had tried to file a restraining order against the kid after making repeated complaints. And the police really didn't do anything or enact it. Obviously, they didn't enact it. 2 teenage girls were mowed down on Monday and killed in leafy Cranford, New Jersey by a hit-and-run driver who had allegedly been stalking one of them. 2 17-year-old Cranford high school students, Maria Neotis and Isabella Salas, were riding on an e-bike together. This is like sickening. This is awful. Around 5:30 p.m. when a black 2021 Jeep with tinted windows rammed them, both girls died later at the hospital. A 17-year-old boy from Garwood, small borough next to Cranford, was arrested near the crash scene.
So this little boy stalked these 2 girls. But see, the reason why it's important is because this young man had been online. This young man, if anybody recalls that one video or that one movie from, Netflix called Adolescence, this is like that Adolescence video, except, he doesn't do it as, right on camera, but he does stalk these 2 girls. And he says he's quoting stuff from Andrew Tate and Charlie Kirk in the videos that he is making, saying this, that, and the third. So let me go back to this other page.
Girls with his SUV went home,
Excuse me.
played video games, and streamed it live on YouTube talking about the case.
And there's more to the story that you're not getting. But when the time comes, I will explain it in greater detail.
And the thing is, he does it so coldly. He has no remorse. It's like he has no remorse for it. It's like he's numb to what he has done.
That is reportedly 17-year-old Vincent Battaloro, and this is a video that is on his YouTube account. His username is VinnyBat118. He goes on this account and he live streams himself and a friend playing a baseball video game. NJ.com was the first to report his name, confirming it through traffic tickets, they say.
I'm not going to give you any more information, but I will say this, okay? Making threats against my family will not be tolerated.
Battaloro reportedly streamed this video after what happened on Tuesday night to the 2 girls you see here, Maria Neotis and Isabella Salas. Both were 17 years old. They were best friends. They were riding home together on e-bikes in their community of Cranford in northern New Jersey. It was Tuesday night around 5:30. WPIX took this image from their helicopter of the crime scene. The girls were on Burnside Avenue. It's a typical suburban street outside New York City. And as the girls were riding down the street, they were hit by a black Jeep Compass, police say, and the driver allegedly took off. Here's a picture that the Union County Prosecutor's Office put out in the wake of the crash as they searched for the driver. Soon after word of what happened to these young girls came out, neighbors went public with what they say was allegedly happening, that this was no accident, that it was not even a random hit and run. They claim this allegedly was a targeted attack.
A targeted attack by this young man who took the lives of these 2 girls. Because as he was talking about it on live stream, and Adam is going to bring up the clip, he's talking about on live stream, he's making quotes from Andrew Tate. And he was a fan of Charlie.
The article details how, quote, she made complaints and nothing was done. Friend Tammy Carbajal told CBS 2. It's just a tragedy. It's just a tragedy. This brings me on to the broader thread. It says, recently you may have seen this clip going viral where a 17-year-old kid expresses his, quote, sincerest condolences to the family of 2 girls who were the victims of senseless tragedy. So this is the kid who did the killing. He went and he live streamed it after, like a deranged psychopath, and was talking about it on the live stream. For those who are unaware, that was him talking about the two 17-year-old girls who were rammed by a 17-year-old dude named Vincent Battaloro. Both of them died of their injuries at the hospital. Battaloro fled the scene and is now arrested and charged with 2 degrees of first-degree murder. Friends and family of the victim said that Battaloro was stalking one of the girls, parking his car outside the girl's house for 3 months, presumably Maria, which had motivated her to file a series of complaints which went unaddressed, culminating in her filing for a restraining order against him. Here's the clip of him on live stream, and you can kind of see him up there at the webcam.
To be honest with you, it was not a good game. They were swinging at
Up here.
so many fastballs down the middle and missing. But again, I want to make this very, very clear. I do wish my sincerest condolences to those 2 girls.
He's speaking as though he's not the person who did it. He's speaking as though somebody else did it, and he's just having a conversation about the murders. Okay, he's the one who did it, but he's on live stream right after he did it, right after he ran over those 2 girls, and he's speaking about it as though he's not the person who performed these heinous acts. This is him at the top of the camera.
For the victims
right here
of an absolute senseless tragedy, and my heart goes out to their families at this time.
This is obviously some sick psychopath stuff, but it gets a lot worse. Now, I talked about this on CNN, how young men get radicalized by these algorithms, but it's deeper than that. It's due to a broader lack of socialization that we're seeing in America and honestly in countries across the globe. Younger and younger generations are socializing less. You know, I always used to think it was dumb when my mom was like, your damn phone is going to ruin you someday. But no, for real, a lot of young people are being ruined by not just phones, but this broader culture of not socializing as much. People try to blame it on video games, but it's not video games. Video games are definitely correlated with a lack of socialization. So when people are more antisocial, they try to find outlets, and those outlets are video games. So it's actually a reverse.
This is the channel name is his name is Adam Mockler. He does political things. He just happened to be doing this right now. He just happens to be doing this story right now. Mockler, Adam Mockler.
Correlation. When somebody is less likely to socialize, they turn to video games. Not that they are playing video games because they're more likely to be violent. There's different correlations you can draw there. But the thing is, there is a broader problem that is accelerated due to COVID. Due to the COVID pandemic, a lot of young people in their formative years in high school, college, put a bubble around themselves and never tore that bubble down. And while that bubble was still up, they got sucked down these Andrew Tate algorithms, insane right-wing algorithms. I was lucky enough to have good friend groups. I remember I was pretty antisocial during COVID, but then I pulled the bubble down and I hung out with people again. I went out last weekend. I'll go out next weekend. I'm lucky enough to not get sucked purely down the algorithms. But imagine if I wasn't. Imagine if I was one of the dudes or one of the young women. I mean, it's both genders who are just now antisocial all the time,
24/7 online. Nobody's blaming Andrew Tate. Nobody's blaming Kirk. What we're saying is, when I came online 2 years ago. That's all I hear is people saying talking points. Every channel, every panel that I got on, women are bad, men are good, women are manipulative, women are this, women are that, Christian nationalism, lefties are bad, right? All I heard was all these talking points. And then I knew as soon as I heard it, that a bunch of you had been on this internet for so long that you were regurgitating talking points. Yeah, I saw it within 6 months of getting on here. Within 6 months, that people were not necessarily radicalized, but you had talking points and you had not been out in the real world to actually try those talking points out. Andrew Tate, the garbage that Andrew Tate spews, the stuff that Charlie Cake spews, That stuff, most of that stuff was not outside the internet. It was on the internet. And when I got on here, I knew that this young man was telling the truth.
24/7. It seems like that's what happened. So New Jersey 101.5 then discovers Baltoloro's socials and reports on them. And while they do censor the handles, there's enough info in the screenshot to narrow down the actual accounts. His TikTok is now private, but his profile picture has a 2021 black Jeep with Jersey plates, the same black Jeep, which is...
It actually was quite scary. It was actually quite scary. And it's actually quite scary now when I talk to people and I hear people say, those MAGA people, those lefties, those libertarians, it's scary. Because a lot of people have been brainwashed and they don't know they've been brainwashed. I never heard this shit until I got on here 2 years ago. So the real world was not even thinking about half of the stuff that's on here. Andrew Tate, Charlie Kirk, Red Pill. What the fuck is Red Pill? I never heard of Red Pill until I got the hell on here. Never heard of it. Never thought to live by it. Never thought about women being pieces of shit. Never thought about men being pieces of shit till I came on here. Then I knew a whole bunch of you motherfuckers was radicalized. A whole bunch of you motherfuckers.
It's odd considering he accumulated his TikTok by being an MLB commentator, doing like random MLB clips. His Twitter has been inactive since 2023, but includes retweets of Andrew Tate. This is where it gets more damning. You can see at the very top, right. Vincent Badaloro reposted Andrew Tate saying, 5 events that will change every man's life: a friend betraying you, the death of your father, winning a fight, losing a fight, right. Finding out the woman you love had sex with someone else.
You all visit the page. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share. Please, we have these content every Saturday morning. We try to do reviews of stories that have hit that have hit the world. People that have unalived people. Just the news on Saturday morning. Just a recap. So please hit the like button and the share and the subscribe. Please and thank you. I'm HQ. Hi.
And then it says, they cannot keep me in this cell forever. My enemy's lies are crumbling. This is your time to play catch up. Whatever situation you're in, I want to let you know one thing is certain. It's possible. This is not just normal motivational stuff. This was when Andrew Tate was wrapping all of this in a broader battle where the system of feminism and wokeness and women and all of these people were suppressing him, and he had to revolt. And look at how this 17-year-old kid channeled it. And then when
that young man culminated he put all of that into his anger and into, how he felt about this girl and how this girl might have felt about him, and the girl was slighting him and him not getting the attention that he's supposed to. See, the thing is, Andrew Tate have a lot of young men believing all of those things, and he's supposed to act this way, and it's hyper masculine and it's not toxic and all that. This is radicalization that happened to this young man, and he took it out. I'm assuming he took it out on these 2 girls that he ran over.
Andrew Tate was released. Vincent, this fucking kid, tweeted out, I used to pray for times like this. This is Andrew Tate getting released. Someone said, shut up, loser. And he said, man, who do you think you are? What about this one on his Instagram that they reverse searched? Vincent Badaloro. You can see the name.
Yeah, the 2 kid, the guy that ran over the girls. Yeah. I don't think he had a romantic interest or a romantic relationship with these people, but he tweeted Andrew Tate and Information Daily, and he had maybe he just found Charlie Kirk, but he had started to listen to Charlie Kirk as well. You listen to things he had to say, so the young man was becoming more and more, going down the rabbit hole. This is what Adam is saying.
Right there at the top of the screen. He was only following POTUS, Team Trump, Dugout Forever, FLOTUS, First Lady of the United States. Now, the POTUS account, the Team Trump account, they've been posting a lot of crazy AI memes. Maybe the president's account shouldn't be posting AI memes and radicalizing the United States citizens. To continue, though, let's continue reading this main thread. His Twitter has been inactive since 2023, but contains multiple retweets of Andrew Tate, a couple tweets expressing disdain for Tate's incarceration, and a quote celebrating after Tate was released.
My understanding was that Andrew Tate was misogynistic towards women. or he had a certain, I don't know whether that men, for some reason, men think manly men who speak badly to women and speak badly to, speak manly towards society are what a man is supposed to be. Unfortunately, that doesn't translate into the real world. Not often. They think it does, but it doesn't, not very often. So he got dragged down into that Andrew Tate, that toxic or non-toxic masculinity. Yes, I understand. He definitely is. Tate was pimping them he was pimping them hoes. I know. I heard about that man. He was pimping them hoes.
All of this could be forgiven if he hadn't added to his collection of mortal sins by following JD Vance. He followed JD Vance on there, and I can continue clicking on these, but you don't really need more and more proof because you've seen that he's buying into this broader narrative that the system of feminism and wokeness is keeping him down or whatever.
Right.
This is something pushed by the leaders of this country. This is why a bunch of young dudes feel radicalized. And on the other side of that, the Democratic Party hasn't created quite the most welcoming environment for young men. And trust me, I'm not both siding it. I'm just saying right-wingers are using this vacuum to radicalize young men, and Democrats haven't quite found the best response yet. That's definitely fair to say.
See, it's part of the reasons why, the alpha male stuff. It's part of the reasons why Trump won, because we had, and the biggest demographic shift in the election were young males, I think under the age of 35, because they had been online. They listened to Andrew Tate, they listened to Charlie Kirk, they listened to all these right-wing side pundits who said, oh, okay, the lefties are trying to take away your masculinity. They like the gay people. The left side like the gay people. And this is what I heard. These are things that I heard. And so these young men, they're regular heterosexual men, so they get pulled into this, I'm a man and I don't want to be associated with the gay people and I don't want to be associated with the trans people, so let me go right and blah, blah, blah. So it's the alpha male thing. It's the red pill radicalization is what Adam is saying. And a lot of these men, because of this, they helped put Trump in the White House. These men become so these young men become so involved in this alpha red pill stuff that they do heinous acts, or at least this young man has done. We've heard of several who've done it, but yeah.
Let's continue. This says, I need to remind you, all of these posts were made when he was around 14 to 15 years old.
So 14 and 15 years old. This young man was 14 and 15. He was into the Andrew Tate. So that was when Andrew Tate was at his height, right? He was at his height and he was at his most popular when I got online, because that's all I kept hearing was some Andrew Tate, right? And, I resisted, going over there to see what it was about, but I didn't need to resist because it was all over the internet. Andrew Tate, masculinity, say what you want, do what you want, smoke a cigar, be the best you can be, get your body up, get your body count up, X, Y, and Z, right? So I'm sure a whole bunch of people got sucked into that algorithm of the Andrew Tate thing. Women think we're toxic, masculinity. Women think we're toxic when we want to be a man. We want to be X, Y, and Z. We don't want to be gay. We don't want to be transsexual. So let's do the alpha male thing, which didn't really translate over to the getting a female. It just made the men more aversive. Made him more averse to women, more averse to men. Okay? And this is what happened to the young man. He's been listening to Andrew Tate for 2 or 3 years. A lot of you have been listening to Andrew Tate for 2 or 3 years. There could be a lot of people out there that are radicalized, but they're not moved to break people off. Please hit the like button and the share button. Please hit the like button, subscribe. Please, this is news content that we have during the Saturday morning. Stories that we hear throughout the week.
He committed it when he was 17. So just think about that. In his most formative years, this only proves my theory so perfectly. In his most formative years, what this guy did was consume so much right-wing, red pill, Andrew Tate. We're going to get to the Charlie Kirk of it all, but all of that content, and then he channeled it when he was 17. Now, let me caveat. This kid was obviously disturbed in other ways as well. You have to have some sort of faculty not there in your brain. You just have to. You have to be disturbed in some way, but we can also point to the accelerants and the things that are really breaking young dudes' brains.
But here's the thing: we don't know where that radicalization, or we don't know where that break is. That's the thing. You don't know where that break is. Anybody can get on the internet. Anybody can get on the internet and say and do whatever they want. So we don't know where this breaking point is for these young men that decide that they're going to be radical enough to go off and then hurt somebody. We don't know.
En masse. You have to.
That's why it's the responsibility of people who talk on here not to start spouting. You have to understand the talking points that you're saying. You have to understand the things that you're saying. If you say all lefties are no good, or you say all MAGA people aren't any good, some people take that stuff seriously. Because I can tell from the conversation that I have in some of the chats that are in my feeds or in my shows that these people are radicalized. I'm a middle of the road lefty, and I get called all kinds of weird shit. Like, really? I'm just a Democrat, the middle of the road Democrat. How can I be a demon? What's going on? That's wild. Okay.
Pointed out. Now, on his Instagram, he follows JD Vance, Melania.
Please like the video and subscribe. We do this every Saturday morning. Talk about stories that happen in the news. Please and thank you.
Trump, Donald Trump, Team Trump. The Team Trump account is especially heinous for posting Jeffries in Mexican garb, AI videos, calling Schumer corrupt and posting fake Trump poll numbers, posting truths from Trump that are inflammatory. The KIRK connection is even more sinister. The Charlie Kirk connection gets crazy. Going through his live streams, there is a particularly disgusting string of events that take place. This part is insane. Vincent starts off by saying he thinks Maria, the girl who was murdered, unfortunately, just awfully, that she's hungry and he should order her some pizza.
He's gonna show you the Andrew Tate connection right now.
Then goes on to claim that he wants to extract vengeance from her because she had accused him of sending her unsolicited pornography, which resulted in a police report being filed.
He had already attempted to converse or get in touch with this young woman that he ran over, allegedly ran over. He had already tried to be in, have some kind of relationship with this young lady, and she rejected him. So he's now he's trying to pursue her, without her knowing. So this is where stalking comes in.
Goes on to poke fun at what is presumably Maria's mother's name, which is ethnic, this says, and talks about using a VPN and burner phone to order some pizzas for her. His friend Evan encourages him to go and watch the pizzas being delivered. Wow. Right. He then says, quote, "Hey, whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, she better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his effing death. Stupid ass clown. Just remember that." When his friend inquires about what Maria said, Badaloro says she made fun of Charlie Kirk's death on TikTok on a repost. Maybe her mother should monitor her social media activity. Let me play this clip from his YouTube channel with 337 subscribers. This was streamed 9 days ago. Again, 9 days ago. It'll probably be taken down soon. This video may be flagged for including it. So just make sure you drop a like and try to help boost it in the comment section so that we can get the story out there. It's important.
All right.
Hey, whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his fucking death. Stupid ass clown.
Wait, what?
Just remember that.
What happened?
Now the restaurant's calling the number. I'm not answering it. That's worth a walk. Yeah, I'm not answering that phone.
What were you saying that she? What about Charlie Kirk?
No, she made fun of Charlie Kirk's death on TikTok on a repost.
Oh, okay.
Maybe her mother should monitor her social media activity. So that's going to be a double play.
Okay, so this kid is obviously disturbed, but just to add some clarity to the situation.
Right.
The investigation is still ongoing, but I can put some stuff together here. This kid was obviously caught up in a lot of Andrew Tate right-wing algorithms due to his social media. Right. That was radicalizing him against this quote-unquote system oppressing young men, which obviously isn't there, but young men feel alone due to this acceleration of isolation from the COVID pandemic. And that's not me claiming that it didn't happen before COVID. Of course, you can trace it back to Columbine. You can trace it back to shootings before that. But I'm just saying COVID accelerated it, made it happen at a faster rate because young men young people of all ages felt isolated. But this guy obviously got sucked down this rabbit hole. Now, he's then backwards rationalizing violent actions and how he's going to hurt Maria, or these two girls. But in this clip, he's talking about Maria because she reposted a TikTok, and that TikTok made a joke about Charlie Kirk after he died. So for a repost, he is now using that, coupling it with his resentment, his loneliness, his isolation. And honestly, I don't think it's the video games. I've seen a lot of pundits, people on the right wing, people even on the left saying that, hey, video games are clearly causing this radicalization.
Right.
But I think that's sort of a causation correlation thing.
Right.
When young dudes in particular are feeling isolated, they tend to use video games as a way to channel that. I don't think playing a baseball video game makes someone more violent. They're literally playing. It's like no different than watching baseball. Let's return to the thread to continue. When his friend inquires what Maria said, he said, she made fun of Charlie Kirk on TikTok on a repost. Maybe her mother should monitor her social media activity. Man, the irony. His social media activity should be monitored. And the fact that this guy is doing this because of a TikTok repost. Wow. He then says, quote, she likes to eat fat and be a pig and likes to wear makeup around because she doesn't like being insecure. Now, the only reason I'm saying and playing this disturbing stuff is because that is just an Andrew Tate-ism. That is something that comes directly from Andrew Tate. He says stuff like that.
Maria doesn't like to do that.
That's a ball.
She likes to eat fat and be a pig.
Aye.
It becomes increasingly clear what is happening. Keep in mind, all of this is going down while his burner phone is blowing up, and he says on stream that he's just ignoring them. His next stream after harassing someone who reportedly had a restraining order against him was titled Pizza Time, lol. Taking a step back, it turns out that Baltaloro had another, even older Twitter account that was sporting takes from 2020 to 2022,
Right.
which would have made him a 12 to 13-year-old. That was
12
during COVID.
12 to 13-year-old when he was in COVID. So he was listening to the Andrew Tate height. He was at the height of the Andrew Tate, meme and Andrew Tate fame and all of that. So he had absorbed all of that Andrew Tate stuff, all of that, quoting Andrew Tate, saying women should X, Y, and Z. This is the problem. You can't put it on video games. He already had a screw loose. You already had a screw loose. We got that. But we can't really tell when people have screw looses, right? But he already had a screw loose. So this led him to focus on these two girls because he stalked her. She said he tried to do something, and then she was like, no, thank you. And then he started to stalk her. Then he started to, follow her on social media. He would order pizzas for her. And then he'd do some weird shit, make her pay for it, that kind of stuff. He was doing all kinds of things before he decided he was going to get into that car and then run those two girls over. Okay. Clearly a disturbed individual. So now we have two girls hit and run, crash. They have him in custody. So the young man faces whatever he faces, right? So that was one of the stories that happened this week. Second story that happened this week was this Mormon shooter guy. What the hell was going on with this? The Mormon shooter guy. He was set the church on fire. What's going on, man? What's going on?
At a Michigan Latter-day Saints church. The horror started around 10:30 a.m. when he rammed his Chevy Silverado truck into the building, where hundreds of worshipers had gathered for a Sunday service in Grand Blanc Township. The killer's vehicle had two large American flags behind the cab and a set of deer antlers attached to the bumper. He then got out and opened fire with an assault rifle on the congregation and set the church ablaze, causing the entire structure to burn down. So what do we know about the sicko who...
This dude walked into the church. He ran his car into the church, ran the truck into the church, jumped out and unloaded. Just unloaded. What would it take for a person to wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm finna break all you motherfucking Mormon people off. I'm finna break all you Mormon people off. I'm finna go to the church. I know y'all at the church. I know y'all worshiping and doing all that good stuff. But let me go over here and break all of y'all off, right? Ram his truck into the church, jump out, unload. Then he got enough fortitude to what did he do? Go through the church and then start spraying gasoline all throughout or whatever, and flammable shit, and then and say what the hell is going on? I mean, what would the Mormon people have done to you for you to have done that? For you to have gone to the church? I feel for the family. I feel for the, guess the Mormons took his wife. I feel for the family. I feel for all of that. What the hell is going on?
Who did this? The suspect's name is Thomas Jacob Sanford from nearby Burton, Michigan. He was a 40-year-old Iraq War veteran who served in the U.S. Marines. A Facebook post by Sanford's mother says the gunman served in Iraq from 2004 to 2008. According to Fox News, he worked as an organizational automotive mechanic and vehicle recovery operator who earned a number of awards for his service and achieved the rank of sergeant. Social media accounts believed to be connected to Sanford reveal he was a family man with a wife and a young son. Pictures posted on Facebook show the family smiling, posing in the beds of pickup trucks, or in a field of tall sunflowers. A dormant GoFundMe page from 2015 raised more than $3,000 for the couple's now 10-year-old son, who was born with congenital hyperinsulinism, or CHI, a rare genetic condition in which the pancreas releases too much insulin. As authorities investigate what led Sanford to commit his sickening crime, former Assistant FBI Director Chris Swecker told Fox and Friends First that a motive is already in sight.
The FBI has taken the lead. That means they're treating this as either a hate crime or an act of domestic terrorism. The investigation is deep into it at this point with regard to motive.
White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt indicated that the gunman targeted the worshipers because of their faith.
Well, from what I understand, based on my conversations with the FBI director, all they know right now is this was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith. And they are trying to understand more about this, how premeditated it was, how much planning went into it, whether he left a note. All of those questions have yet to be answered.
President Trump echoed that sentiment in a Truth Social post, in which he wrote, "This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States. This
It seems to be a targeted attack on Christians, and I get that. But it's Christians upon Christians. This is white on white crime. This is the crime. This is the degeneracy we see in the news all the time. Why would a young white male 40 family veteran, why would he be targeting the Mormon faith? What the hell went on that would make him target the Mormon faith? Okay, we don't know.
This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately. A city council candidate has since revealed a disturbing encounter.
You know what? I never really knew people put animals on their bumper. I did not know that until just now. People actually put animals on their bumper. This is a thing. This right here is a thing. Shit.
He said he had with Sanford on September 22nd when he was door-knocking constituents. Chris Johns told the Detroit Free Press that the two chatted for about 20 minutes, with Sanford at one point opening up about his time serving in Iraq as a U.S. Marine and struggling with drug addiction upon returning home. But what started out as a friendly conversation took a sharp turn when the subject of religious faith was brought up, and Sanford started ranting against Mormons after revealing he had a relationship with a woman who...
No, Arletta, the narrative that they're trying to frame is the Democrats or the lefties that are doing the killing. When in actuality, most of the killing or most of the domestic terrorism has come from white on white male Christians background, and they come from religious background. It has nothing to do with white. About most of the terrorists or most of the attacks have come from the right, not particularly the left. 13% is black people, not the left. Okay. So, I mean, read all the reports. I don't need to, everybody should be able to Google and look at all the reports that we have on the right extremism. You just can look at all the reports. I looked at all the reports the other day.
Whose family was Mormon when he lived in Utah. It was very much standard anti-LDS talking points that you would find on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, John said, and culminated when Sanford stated that he considered Mormonism the Antichrist. The Burton City Council candidate said he recognized Sanford immediately when his picture was released after the shooting. There's certain things you don't forget, he said. This is not a forgettable guy.
Yeah.
Sanford died at the scene during a gun battle with a Grand Blanc Township police officer and a department.
Why would he think Mormons are? Why would he think Mormons were the Antichrist? Okay, if you use crackhead logic, you come to this conclusion. Who has crackhead logic? Ascending Phoenix, who and Tigress? She either knows she's a liar or she's mentally ill. Tigress, you have to substantiate what you're talking about. If you can't substantiate what you're talking about, stop talking. Just listen. Okay, just listen. Or Google, as a matter of fact. You got Google? Shit. Y'all got Google?
Department of Natural Resources officer who responded to the shooting. Cops were on the scene 30 seconds after calls started coming in and took out the suspect in about 8 minutes. Detectives are reportedly probing whether the mass shooting and fire has any connection to the death.
I know you only read what confirms your bias. I get that, because you wouldn't be in the chat saying the goofy shit you're saying if you read anything else besides the stuff that confirms your bias.
Of longtime National LDS Church President Russell M. Nelson, who died Saturday in Salt Lake City at the age of 101.
Yeah. So we don't know what happened to this dude. We don't know what his religion was. We don't know anything about this guy. We just know it's white on white crime. We do know that. We do know you goofies out there try to blame black folks for stuff. Don't blame black folks for stuff. This white on white crime, this is religious. Something to do with religion. Let's keep it where it belongs, on the religious side.
Tonight, in the tragic LDS church shooting that unfolded in Grand Blanc, Michigan, we have everything you need to know. What began as a horrifying,
sure it is, Ascending Phoenix. Sure it is.
Act of violence inside a house of worship has continued to ripple through the community, leaving investigators, congregants, and families searching for answers.
Right.
Authorities are still piecing together what led to this unimaginable moment, working tirelessly to uncover both the timeline and the motive behind it. At the same time, the public is slowly learning more day by day. New details are emerging about what happened inside that chapel, the victims whose lives were shattered,
right,
and the suspect at the center of this case.
Yeah, I'm gathering it now, Ty Pro. Thank you.
Each update adds another layer to a story that is as devastating as it is unsettling, reminding us that
we know the Trump supporter is not white, dumbass. We know that. We know we have black conservatives, dumbass. Jeez, that makes no sense.
even spaces that are meant to be sacred, safe, and set apart from the world's violence are not immune. Authorities have now released the identities of all 4 people who tragically lost their lives in the Grand Blanc LDS shooting.
Right.
Each name represents not just a victim of this violent act, but an entire life story, families, legacies, and communities forever altered. The first is 77-year-old John Bond. John was a Navy veteran, a father of 6, and a grandfather of 10. His life was marked by service, family, and devotion.
Right.
In a heartbreaking detail shared by his wife, Joanne, we've learned that in his final moments, John told others that he wanted to call Joanne. And that image alone of a husband longing for his wife in his last breath captures the devastating human cost.
They're not trans shooters, Tigress. Come on now. I understand a little screw is loose somewhere. I get all that, because anybody who comes into a chat talking wildly like you've been talking has to have a screw loose. But my whole point is, when has there been proven trans shooters? When have we proved you? I want you to post in the chat, screw loose person. I want you to post in the chat what shooter has been trans. Please post in the chat. what shooter has been trans? Because I know a screw is loose, because only a person with screw loose will come out here and say that. The Mormon church shooter was they didn't say nothing about trans. They said a 40-year-old war veteran, a 40-year-old husband with a kid. What are you talking about, Tigress?
Of this tragedy. Another victim was also 77 years old, Pat Howard. And Pat is remembered as a devoted husband. While fewer details have been made public about Pat, what is clear is the love he carried for his family and the loss his absence now leaves behind. We also remember Thelma Armstrong, a mother and grandmother who immigrated to the United States from South Africa in
No, I don't want proof of trans shooters. You're the one who said there was trans shooters. And I don't know what you're talking about. Freely label him Trump supporter. When did I say anybody was a Trump supporter? When did I say anybody was a Trump supporter? Never said anything about Trump's name until just now. You're the one who said Trump supporter. I said the shooters in the last 30 years have been mostly on the right. Please Google the reports. Please Google the 4 independent reports that you can just look up because you got to screw loose anyway. Look it up. The 4 reports that you can find that says on the last 30 years, most of the shooters have been on the right. Look it up, Tigress, instead of running your mouth. Okay? But then you Google is your friend. So Google it. Why somebody got to tell you this? Why do somebody got to argue with you all about the proof? Most shooters are not trans. Okay? I'm just stating a fact about the reports. Even the White House deleted a report that said most of the violence has been coming from the right. What's going on? Just Google the reports. There's like 4 reports out there that says that the violence has been coming from the right. Tigress, I understand a screw is loose somewhere, but it ain't no wrong. Google the reports, man.
2019. Thelma was known for her kindness and her selfless spirit. And according to the GoFundMe created in her honor, she had been attending the church service with her
beautiful people who were attending church, just minding their business, doing what they wanted to do on the service day, Sunday, minding their business, going to church. And this goofy comes out of nowhere and kills these 4 elderly people. True enough, people might say, hey, this is X, Y, and Z. This is X, Y, and Z. But no, this person comes out of nowhere and does this. Okay. HQ, okay, wait a minute. No, I'm not stating anything that is not in the news. If you Google, you'll figure out exactly what these reports have been saying. I'm finna pull up hold on. Y'all be killing me. Here. Where motherfucker gotta tell you, here, this is a video that's gonna give you the names of some of the things that you can look up. Because y'all act like y'all don't understand English. Hold on. I'm giving you the report. I'm giving you the. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on.
That's left. JD Vance lied today on the Charlie Kirk show when he said the statistics are clear that this is a left-wing problem. It's the exact reverse. Right, exact reverse. You look at the ADL Center for Extremism, which looked at 444 people killed by extremists between 2013 and 2022, 75% of them by the right. You look at the University of Maryland study that was done for their terrorism center, which found that from 1948 to 2018, right-wing extremists more likely to carry out violence than left-wing extremists. You look at the head of the FBI who Donald Trump appointed, Chris Wray, who said the #1 domestic terror threat in this country comes from religious and racially motivated extremists, specifically white supremacists. You can keep going. The National Institute for Justice found that the majority of incidents since 1990, violent terroristic acts were right-wing extremists. The single biggest day of political violence, Chris, in our lifetimes in this country was January 6th, 2021, when right-wing extremists attacked the Capitol, injured police officers. They were ideologically motivated. You and I agreed it was an insurrection at the time. So it's bizarre for Vance to go on TV or go online and say the exact opposite.
Sure is propaganda, Tigress. That man right there just said several things that you can look up. Several reports that you can look up. And you sitting on here talking about propaganda. Look them up, dude. Stop saying stuff is propaganda. Look it up. Don't tell me it's propaganda and you ain't looked nothing up. Don't tell me it's propaganda and you ain't looked nothing up. I'm just repeating what's out there in the news. Okay? Yeah, you're right, Tigers. You need to get gone. Kick rocks, Tigers. Kick rocks. Since you so smart. If you so smart, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's all you got to do is prove me wrong, and I'll admit that I was wrong.
Daughter and her family that morning. She was described as someone who consistently put others before herself, a light in her family's life now tragically gone. And lastly, 78-year-old Craig Hayden, a former bishop in the congregation. Craig's daughter, Lisa, has since shared a remarkable message saying she forgives Sanford for his actions, already forgiving Sanford, the shooter in this tragedy. And that message of forgiveness, delivered in the midst of unbearable grief, has struck many as both profound and moving, underscoring strength and faith that Craig himself was known for throughout his life. And the letter she wrote reads, and I'll
see, I'm not going to address you anymore, Tigress, because you have no sense of, I get it. The screw is loose. I get it. The screw is loose. I get it. Sometimes the screw is loose and we can't help you. We just can't help you, Tigress, because you refuse to do research.
video. She recalls the instant confusion and panic as the sound of gunfire followed and how instinct just took over. She grabbed her toddler sister, rushed.
All I'm saying is when you play this back, go to the section where that man lists 4 or 5 reports. He lists 4 or 5 reports that say the extremism has been coming from the right. And then you need to go to those reports, and then you need to find that report, and then you need to read through the research. Stop telling me that I'm a liar. I didn't say it. The reports said that the violence has been coming from the right. The bulk of the violence in this country has been coming from the right. Not Antifa, like Donald Trump liked to keep saying, like the press secretary keeps saying, like all of those people keep saying, they keep saying Antifa, 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 Antifa. I ain't heard nobody say nothing about Proud Boys, Proud Boys, Proud Boys, Proud Boys. Ain't heard nothing about that. Yeah, you sound like a MAGA nutcase, especially when you don't want to do research.
Rushing her to safety amid the screams and chaos unfolding them. Take a listen.
I'm going to start off with, we had just gotten to church. It was around 9:50 a.m. We went in and did our greetings with our brothers and sisters before finding somewhere to sit for a sacrament. It was just me and half of my family, as there was other family in other places that day. So we sat in one of the smaller benches closer to the walls. We chose the middle of the left side to sit. We started with our song and a prayer for bread and water as the body and blood of Jesus Christ. It was at 10:20 when our speaker came up to the mic. I was looking down at my phone, looking for cars, showing them to my dad to see.
The Proud Boys are the group that led the people into the January 6th Capitol. Those are the people that led people into the Capitol on January 6th. Those are the people. Okay.
What he would think about them. At about 2 minutes later, at around 10:22 a.m. was when the beginning of the tragedy that hit. Boom.
Right to freedom, exactly.
I jump up and look up from my phone in confusion as to what had happened. As I look up, I can see the chairs at the front of the chapel falling on one another, while our talker looked back at us with confusion. I thought something had happened. I thought someone had collapsed. I thought someone had been shot before it actually started. My dad, an Iraq veteran, in the Air Force, and a few others actually realized it had been a vehicle that had crashed into the front of the chapel and thought it was something medical and went to go check it out. Boom, boom, boom. We were being attacked. Get out of here. Get to the back of the building. Get to the car. I heard things from different directions by different people. I picked up my 2-year-old sister as my dad was already far enough up from going to investigate the crash. My stepmom not being able to process what was going on, thinking it was the roof collapsing due to the hard hit of the vehicles. I ran into the chapel, expecting to get shot from behind me, running with my sister, losing my family. As I was running out, I heard someone come onto the mic. Brothers and sisters, ... Then boom, he stopped talking. And
yeah, that's the scary part. Do we need to lock the doors? Do we need to lock the doors or have somebody mind the doors, right? Mind the doors when we go to church. I mean, that's the whole thing. Do we have to do that these days? Whether it's a black church or a white church, do we have to watch ourselves when we go to worship, when we go to pray? Okay? People coming in and having religious differences and things like that. Okay? You have religious differences and things like that, and we have people, we have people coming in and shooting regular folk. Okay? This is just wild. I mean, these are the things that happened this week. One young man who was kind of radicalized, and then we have this young man right here. An older man right here, 40-year-old. Okay. And then we have all of these things. No, Taco, go back, rewind the video, and find the names of the reports. Find the name of the 4 reports, 3 or 4 reports that says the violence in this country has been primarily coming from the right. Okay? Don't get it twisted. You need to know the truth. Instead of you sitting there listening to the rhetoric that you hear on TV, do your own research. These reports have reported it's been coming from the right. Okay? So the whole point is I'm just saying these people are radicalized. A lot of them are radicalized, and it's coming mostly from a religious slant and a radicalization maybe that happened online. We don't know, right? But there's a reason why you don't have black people crashing out like y'all white folks. This is white on white crime. Y'all crashing out, okay? Crashing out religiously and radically and that toxic masculinity shit. Y'all crashing out. And you don't see too many black people crashing out. This is mostly white people. White boy wasted, for real.
Later, I found out he was one of the guys that had been shot and killed. I ran and hit my sister's foot on a door. She was crying, and I was struggling to keep her quiet. I found myself in a Relief Society room, which had a door leading to outside. I kept hearing shots, and I went towards the door to see if...
It's not that I'm not putting a jacket on white men. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, white on white culture, white on white crime is more prevalent than any crime here in the United States. Have you guys noticed? I bet you can't nobody tell me how many murders it's been in the news since Charlie Kirk got killed. And y'all got to name more than 2 black people that have been involved with those things. Okay? Name 2 black since Charlie Kirk been, and it's been quite a few since Charlie Kirk has been men. How many of these are black? That's the whole point. I'm just highlighting the fact that most of these crimes have been white. That's the problem, WEF. You don't read. 50% of the violent crime is not done by black people. That's why you need to do your own research. Instead of listening to garbage, you need to start doing your own research. That's not 50% of black people doing crime, sir. That makes no sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. Okay? Makes no sense whatsoever.
It would be safe to run out. I was too scared. There was a desk. I went under it, and realizing it had a big opening, so no. The room was filled with chairs and there was nowhere to hide. I looked out the door to the hallway, considering running to another room. I was too scared to go out. I hid behind the door and dialed 911. No one answered. As I was alone with my crying baby sister, losing belief in survival, the shooting stops for maybe about 30 seconds to a minute. Jumping over to my dad's perspective.
Wait a minute, hold on. You guys are enjoying the content. We do this every Saturday morning around 12 o'clock. We highlight the crime that is hit, crime that is national crime that makes the national news. We highlight crime that has made the national news. That's why we're not doing the Diddy thing, because I don't give a fuck about no Diddy. We're doing the things in which people are losing their lives because of X, Y, and Z. Okay, so you all need to hit the like button, the hate button, whatever button you need to hit. Please hit the button if you're enjoying the content. This is every Saturday morning, blah, blah, blah. Okay, every Saturday morning we hit the highlights of the news or deaths or people getting unalived. Okay, so, and then please sub to the channel. We'd love to have if you want to see this content every Saturday and, periodically through the week, this is the kind of content that we put out. It's not about black or white. It's not about Democrats. It's not about Republicans. This is let's just present the facts here. That's all we're presenting is the facts. This happened. A young man came into a church, killed Mormons who were minding their business, doing what they have to do. We're not trying to do any kind of politicization. We're just stating the facts here. So please subscribe to the channel. Please like the content. Please and thank you. And I'm asking, please and thank you.
If we couldn't find my daughters, I went back to the chapel twice, hoping I wouldn't find their bodies there. The second time...
Absolutely, Kiss Doreen. We're so manipulative that you come on here and you have to mention manipulation when you're on the right and you don't think you're being manipulated by Donald Trump. That's a funny thing. That's a funny thing, Kiss. Funny.
I went in there. I was face to face with the gunsman. His body was faced right towards me, and he had a dog with him. He was struggling with being able to unjam his rifle, and I could have saved the church right at that moment. My dad has a license to be able to...
I don't know what you're on. I don't know what you're on, Kiss, but you're in here denigrating the Democrats because the Democrats are so manipulated. So manipulated. We don't know what they stand for. We just vote for them because, we feel like voting for them, and we just been voting for them for years. Okay? You don't even understand why people vote. That's why we vote for Democrats. We understand why we vote for Democrats. Like you understand, don't you understand who you vote for? Why you vote for who you vote for? It don't even make sense, kids. Dumb.
Carry on him. And this one time he felt hopeless standing there. He felt horrible.
Wait a minute, let's get this straight. Let me get this fact clear to you, Kiss. Okay? Because you spouting talking points. And that's what I mean by young men being on the internet spewing talking points and they don't know what they're talking about. Black people don't hate white people. We have a problem with people who don't recognize that there's systematic racism here and that they're perpetuating it, or their ancestors perpetuated it, and the current people are not doing anything to stop it. We don't hate white people. We just hate that they won't stop it. That's all. Please.
Because after his interaction, there had been more injured and killed, and our building had been destroyed. I heard that silence of the shooting, the pause of it, which I believe was when my dad...
Then Aaron, you need to go over there and deal with the right. You need to go over there and deal with Trump. Go over there.
So the gun had been jammed. A family came running in, saw me behind the door with my sister. A girl that had been a part of the group was screaming and crying another's name, which I believe was a female's name. They were pulling her out, and one of the older ones saying, "It's okay, come on, we have to go."
You really are off your rocker, generic. Most of your white people get broke off by other white people. And most black people get broke off by black people. So I don't know what you're talking about. Stop killing us. That makes no sense.
ago, and as they were coming, I heard 2 more shots. I followed the family outside, realizing that
you're wild, generic. You're wild.
the shooter had been inside the chapel. I was running towards the woods, not being able to find my family's car. Kaylee, yelled my stepmom. I felt so relieved to have been able to find them. We got into the car and my dad pressed all the way down on the pedal. I've never gone that fast. I had my sister in my hands, not being able to buckle her with the amount of time we had. As we were leaving, we saw the gunsman outside. He had his dog and was going to his truck. He pulled out what I believe was gasoline. It was a gray truck, it's silver, and he had two flags in the back of it. That's all we saw of him before we got too far to be able to see anymore. We drove to a suburb that was down the street to take a moment to realize what had just happened. It all happened so quick, but it felt so long.
That's wild.
Scrambled to protect the ones you love when every second matters. Another story shares the bravery of a teenage boy as he saved.
So when you go to the store, when you go to the this website, Hidden True Crime, you have the whole story of people who were in this church, who were in the church, who were right there when all of this happened. Hold on. So the whole point is to get the human stories, about who killed and who did X, Y, and Z. Okay. Yes. And somebody said something goofy. What was that? Black women commit more crime than white men. No. Per capita and total per year. Total per year. That's goofy. And you know how I know that's goofy? Yeah, and I know you don't know how to read because you never would have said it. Black women kill more people than white men. That makes no sense. It's wild. Please hit the like button and the subscribe button. We have these stories every Saturday morning, 1 or 2 stories about crimes committed during the week. Okay, I appreciate you subbing. I appreciate you liking the video X, Y, and Z. And then we will have questions along the way, which we have done. Okay, so I appreciate you all coming out. I appreciate it. Okay, but the whole point is, this is not a right issue or left issue. This is not political. This is just regular, ordinary content that about news and stories that have happened throughout the week, right? And those were the highest ranking stories that happened was the Michigan church shooter, and the Michigan church shooter, who I don't know how somebody thought he was trans. I don't know how y'all got trans out of that. Okay. But people got trans out of that. Okay. And no, this is not a channel where you come over and you get to say X, Y, and Z. You got to prove your facts. You got to prove your works. No, this is not political. I didn't say anything about anything political. If anybody said anything political, it was you all in the chat. The Democrats on a plantation, the Democrats on this. No, I didn't say anything about that. Okay. I said these people were in the church worshiping, and some cuckoo loon comes in and breaks them off. I said this was white on white crime. This is what it was. White on white crime. What else is it? Okay. I told you in this video that you could go and find out information regarding these reports that we were talking about, reports that say the violence comes mostly from the right because somebody asked. Okay, here, I'm going to give it to y'all again so you can hear. Okay.
Response to this murder from the left?
From the left? I mean, just listening to the clips you played from the Trump administration, we're in a very dark moment. It's a very McCarthyite moment right now.
Yes. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is, Aaron, but not all the time. Not this Saturday morning. It's It's not political on Saturday morning. This is just the news.
Straight from the Trump administration. We're in a very dark moment. It's a very McCarthyite moment right now. I've been listening to your show. You made a lot of good points. The biggest point I think you've glossed over is...
So this gentleman is about to tell you the sites that you can go to that tell you this is the coming primarily from the right, these shootings.
Rights and go after this amorphous left. J.D. Vance lied today on the Charlie Kirk show when he said the statistics are clear that this is a left-wing problem. It's the exact reverse. Listen. Right, exact reverse. You look at the ADL Center for Extremism, which looked at 444 people killed by extremists between 2013 and 2022, 75% of them by the right. You look at the University of Maryland study that was done for their terrorism center, which found that from 1948 to 2018, right-wing extremists more likely to carry out violence than left-wing extremists. You look at the head of the FBI, who Donald Trump appointed, Chris Wray, who said the #1 domestic terror threat in this country comes from religious and racially motivated extremists, specifically white supremacists. You can keep going. The National Institute for Justice found that the majority of incidents since 1990, violent terroristic acts were right-wing extremists. The single biggest day of political violence, Chris, in our lifetimes in this country was January 6th, 2021, when right-wing extremists attacked the Capitol, injured police officers. They were ideologically motivated. You and I agreed it was an insurrection at the time. So it's bizarre for Vance to go on TV or go online and say the exact opposite of what both the official statistics say and the think tanks say. All of our evidence tells us. I mean, there was a Democratic lawmaker, Chris, I don't know how many times we have to say this, who was murdered in her home with her husband in June by a Trump supporter. And Donald Trump today said, who? When he was asked about it, he said, who? Mm-hmm.
So, no, you didn't hear me yet again, William Graves. I don't know what it is. No, it's Aaron. You didn't hear me yet again. I said on this Saturday, we're talking about things that happen in the news. I was told in the comment section that lefties are always committing the violence. And then I played this right here to say, here are the list of reports that you can look up that tell you that that's not the case. That is why you hear me playing that political video. It's not that I'm talking about political anything. Okay? That's the whole point. The whole point is everybody has to do research. Okay? You have to do research on your own. That's my whole point, right to freedom. You have to do research on your own. Pat, you have to do research on your own. And this was the beginning of the conversation. The gentleman, the young man who was radicalized. The young man, he was on the internet. He's been on the internet listening to Andrew Tate, listening to Charlie Kirk, listening to all these things say women ain't no good, left ain't no good, religion is the best, Christianity is the best, X, Y, and Z. Okay? These are the things that people become radicalized with. And the young man who ran over the two girls had become radicalized because of the talking points. So I'm saying you need to start doing research instead of listening and people confirming your biases. You need to start reading and doing research. Okay? I played this video that you see right here because this gentleman in this video mentions 4 different reports that said the violence in this country is coming from the right side. The bulk of the violence is coming from the right side. These are reports. These are independent places that if even the White House had a report, the White House did a report. The White House did a report, had a report made. And in the report that they had made, the research said that it was coming from the right. Okay? So I'm saying to you, you need to, we know that there's violence from the left. The bulk of it comes from the right, Aaron. The bulk of, didn't you just hear me? We're going to do it one more time. We're going to do it one more time because you don't hear. The whole point is this man in this video mentions the reports that you can go find this information in. And if the reports are incorrect, it can lead you to other reports. Okay? But the whole point is listen to the reports. Listen to the ones he lists and then go and research.
Just listening to the clips you played from the Trump administration, we're in a very dark moment. It's a very McCarthyite moment right now. I've been listening to your show. You made a lot of good points. The biggest point I think you've glossed over is the crackdown on free speech, this targeting of people for their views. I thought Charlie Kirk was supposed to be a free speech martyr. Why are the right using his death to crack down on free speech and American rights and go after this amorphous left? J.D. Vance lied today on the Charlie Kirk show when he said the statistics are clear that this is a left-wing problem. It's the exact reverse, right?
Listen to the reports that he lists.
Which looked at 444 people killed by extremists between 2013 and 2022, 75% of them by the right. You look at the University of Maryland study.
75%.
Center, which found that from 1948 to 2018, right-wing extremists more likely to carry out violence than left-wing extremists. You look at the head of the FBI, who Donald Trump appointed, Chris Wray, who said the #1 domestic terror threat in this country comes from religious and racially motivated extremists, specifically white supremacists. You can keep going. The National Institute for Justice found that the majority of incidents since 1990, violent terroristic acts were right-wing extremists. The single biggest day of political violence, Chris, in our lifetimes in this country was January 6th, 2021, when right-wing extremists attacked the Capitol.
So I don't need to keep reading that. Just go to the reports that he said. Go to the reports that he said. Look it up for yourself. Don't believe nothing nobody else say. Look it up for yourself. Go find it. Don't listen to pundits. You're listening to J.D. Vance, Trump, Fox News, all lying. Look up reports. Look up reports. Look up surveys. Look up those kind of things. Stop listening to people online. Do your own research. I believe when I go to those reports say what they're supposed to say. So I believe those reports. I don't believe garbage that you all spew on here about all the left is doing the killing. The left is doing the killing, but the bulk of it, 75% of it, is right wing. 75% of it is right wing. Okay? Don't bring the bullshit about Biden or nothing else. Go look at the reports that the man mentioned in the thing. Go look at the FBI report. Go look up, y'all, if y'all want to look up something, look up the report that the White House just deleted. The White House did a report on that, on domestic terrorism. The White House did a report on domestic terrorism, and that report came back saying most of the violence in this country is coming from the right. That White House report said that. They deleted that White House report. They deleted it because they're trying to paint a narrative that it's the left and the violence is coming from the left. They deleted that report. Go look it up. Don't believe me. Go look it up. Just weird, okay? It's your side, the right-hand side. You righties don't know how to take accountability. Just admit what it is. Yes, the White House deleted the report because it's not supporting their narrative that left-hand side radicals are doing the most violence in this country. And that's just not true. Okay? It's just not true. Okay? You don't even have to take my people. You just got to look it up. Find the report. Okay? Just find the reports that say all of this stuff is coming from the right-hand side, not Fox News. Okay? Not in any of that. 77% of the violence. Okay? No, the KKK was not the Democrats. The KKK didn't start the Democrats. None of that. Democrats was started way before the KKK came along. It was 6 KKK members that wanted to align with the Democrats because the Democrats were in the middle. They weren't far right, left extreme Democrat. So because they wanted not, it had something to do with making slaves or giving slaves rights or something to that effect. And that's the only reason why those six KKK people tried to join the Democratic Party. KKK, 6 members, Dixiecrats. Yes, that was the modern day. Those are the founding of those Dixiecrats. Okay, It has nothing to do with them finding the Democratic Party. They didn't find the Democratic Party. It was only 6 of those 6 of those KKK members. Y'all got to look the shit up. You got to look the shit up. I can't do all the research. I can't do all the research. You got to fucking do that. The Democrats were already created before the KKK. Okay. No, because they believe everything they're told. That you cannot believe everything you're told. And that's the reason for the first story. The first young man got pulled down the rabbit hole of this internet. He got pulled down the Andrew Tate rabbit hole. He got pulled down the Charlie Kirk rabbit hole. He got pulled down the feminist rabbit hole. He got pulled down all of those things. And this is what we see. When I got on the internet 2 years ago, I saw it from somebody who is just looking over the landscape. I saw radicalization. The left ain't shit. The right ain't shit. Women ain't shit. Women ain't shit. Men are toxic. Men are toxic. Men are, their rights to get taken away. The gay people is invading this. The trans are invading that. X, Y, and Z. That's all I heard. Y'all was radicalized. Y'all still radicalized because half of y'all refuse to do research. But if you refuse to do research, keep living in that bubble. Keep living where you want to live. Okay? But you have to get out of that bubble sooner or later, and you have to figure out what the hell is going on. You honestly think every time the president speaks that he speaks the truth? If you think that man doesn't lie, then you're in a cult. Okay? Yes, it's the irony. Genetic, I hope you're not calling me names. I hope that's not you being a kid and you're calling me names. I hope that's not what you're doing. I hope you're an adult enough not to do that. Because you haven't heard me. Yeah, I am out of my bubble. I've been out of my bubble. I've never been in the bubble. I'm just watching y'all say the dumbest things about the left and the right. I'm just listening to y'all say the dumbest things. Okay? I just said to you, Tony, look up the report. Don't believe me. Look up the reports. You ain't got to believe me. All of the reports that have come out regarding domestic terrorism have said 77% of it has come from the right. What bubble would I be in? What bubble would I be in? I didn't say that. The report said that. Okay. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So, that's the one thing. We're not going to argue about facts. Okay. No, Dark Horse, you all elected a 34 count felon. You guys are in a cult. You guys are in a cult. So every Saturday morning we have these conversations. We highlight the news. We do all we can for the news. Okay. Okay, I forgot all about that too. We do everything that we can to highlight the news, right? Because we want to hear about the news. We want to do the right thing when it comes to the news. Okay. I just did, Ty Pro. I think I just did. Okay. You hear me? I think I did. Okay. So my whole thing is listen to the news, listen to the 2 highlighted stories during the week. We try not to make it political, but people always want to bring politics in it. The minute they see my black face, they want to make it black and white. It's not black and white. These were 2 white men who were radicalized. Okay. They were radicalized. One was radicalized against religion, and the other one was radicalized against feminism and female X, Y, and Z. Okay, Bill, please read the reports. That's all I'm going to say. Please read the reports. Dark Horse, you guys, please read the reports. When you get to talking about Satan, Dark Horse, I know there's a screw loose somewhere. So I appreciate it. Y'all hit the like and the hate button. Subscribe. There's more content every Saturday. This is every Saturday. I'm here mostly Monday. I'm here mostly Sunday through Thursday. I'm here at 10 o'clock. But those are the political issues we have at 10 o'clock. Okay? Has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with Republicans rioting, Bill. Has nothing to do with Republicans rioting. The violence, most of the violence in this country comes from the right-hand side. Shooting, killing, maiming, all that good stuff. Read the reports. It is what it is. Dark Horse, you have a screw loose. Please and thank you. You have a screw loose. Respectfully. Respectfully, Dark Horse. Respectfully. Okay? Respectfully. You have a screw loose. So, I will see you guys at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. I got another thing going. 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. I'm sorry. 4 o'clock, I got another thing coming. Then at 7 o'clock, we're going to do some Kevin Samuels. We're going to do some more Kevin Samuels at 7. But at 4 o'clock, we're going to have, I forgot what it was. It might be something else. I don't know what it is. But at 4 o'clock, we got something else going. So I thank you all. Hit the like and the hate and the share and all that good stuff. Do all that good stuff. Sub to the channel so you can hear some more bullshit. Like you say, no, Bill, they're not by the Democrats. The report that got scrubbed from the White House the other day was a Republican report. They scrubbed it from the White House. It was a Republican report that said everything, the 77% of the violence is coming from the right. It was a Republican report that they decided to delete out of the White House. Please go look it up. Please go look it up. Okay? Please go look it up. Roll this live back. Okay? Roll this live back. And then you will see the gentleman in this video right here on the screen. He's telling you where you can go look stuff up. Every time I hear it, it's always about, oh, it's got to have context. It's got to be a right-wing person that does it. It can't be 4 or 5 different reports. Not all of them are left. Yeah, we big mad, Bill. We big mad. We big mad. We big mad. Y'all hit the like or hate button. I appreciate it. I'll see you at 4. If you're coming around at 4, we got another thing we doing at 4 o'clock. But at 7 o'clock, we doing the Kevin Samuels review. We doing another Kevin Samuels review. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of y'all. I appreciate the time. I see y'all later. I'll see you later. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you.